Hey guys, welcome to another recap of American Idol. Oh my god, the best part of the show was the first few minutes tonight. They showed somebody waiting outside for, I guess, their sister or whatever to audition, and they were on the phone and they were filming them and they were like, I'm waiting for her, she's about ready to come out. And they were convinced that the girl made it and she was going F nuts. Oh, she got a golden ticket. Oh, she didn't get a golden ticket. It was so good. Unfortunately, that was the best part of the show. So they were in Chicago, and let's talk about the auditionees. First up, Mackenzie. Her dad played piano, or does play piano, for Vince Gill. I thought she was okay. The judges were like really loving it though. I don't know. I think they really made too much out of it, but it was a yes for her. Then there was a dude with a mohawk. His mohawk looked pretty good, but it was a wide mohawk anyway. I like mohawks. And I don't know why they included that in the edit, because it wasn't a horrific audition, but it wasn't like a great one either, and it ended up being a no. But usually these audition shows are either for like the goofballs on the gag reel or like the really spectacular ones. So it's kind of perplexing to me that they just throw in these middle of the road ones just for S and G's. I don't know. Well, Kiara was next, and it turns out that she sang for Obama's birthday. And she was okay. Again, I think they were making a lot out of it, and it really wasn't all that. I have a little advice for her though. She's got to lose that nose ring because it's very distracting. I mean, you can still keep the ring in your nose, but put a stud instead, because that ring just, it doesn't do anything for you, dear. All right, Stephanie was up next, and this one was the beginning of the cattiness for this episode. For some reason, Nikki didn't like her, so she was a no. Everybody else was a yes, and it touched off this giant battle between pretty much everybody on the panel. The guys just didn't want to hear it, and Nikki and Mariah were just going for each other's throats. It was kind of weird. All right, so it just goes to prove that Keith is really in the middle of a crazy sandwich. He's got crazy on either side of him. Why does Randy never have to sit in between them? Oh wait, he will. I have a feeling that by the end of the season, Keith will be cutting a bitch, because it's not fair. He shouldn't have to take that. He shouldn't have to work under those conditions, for crying out loud. It's just a job. Anyway, Melissa, the massage therapist, was up next. Talk about crazy. She showed up in a pink superhero costume, but it didn't have a cape. I have a feeling if it had a cape, she probably would have made it through. Just kidding. It was a no. There was no way she was ever going to make it through. It always surprises me how upset these people get when they think they can sing and they actually can't. And they tell them no, and they're just like so incredulous, like, really? Really? I mean, she was horrible. There's no sugarcoating it. All right, then Gabe kind of reminded me of Hurley from Lost. He showed up with some cookies, because that's what him and his mom do. They bake cookies and like snacks or something. He sang a really yelly song, a hard rock song, which was really good, I thought. And they liked him, but they wanted to hear something a little softer. I thought he was great. I was going to be pissed if he didn't make it through, but he did make it through, so it was a yes for him. Kevin, up next. He's a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He had 2 broomsticks, aka martial arts sticks, that he was flipping around. I don't know. At one point, I thought maybe he was the grown-up Star Wars kid of YouTube viral video fame, but I kind of doubt it, because that other kid was probably a little bit chubbier, and this guy was really thin with curly hair. He seemed like a nice guy, but when he opened his mouth, he was a cartoon goat. So what can you do? It was a no. Lots of no's, lots of tears, and then Isabel, 15 years old. She was really a sweet little girl. She needs some help in the wardrobe department, but she's only 15 years old, so she might have gotten dressed in the dark. But she handed Keith Urban a little note, which was really very sweet because she wanted to do a duet with him, and they did Baby It's Cold Outside, and even though he didn't know all the words, I thought it was really good. And I thought it was going to be unanimous yeses for her. But Randy said no. I was like, what the F, Randy? What is going on with that? Why would Randy say no? Because that was probably just the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Alright, so Keith had to get the hell out of there. He made up some excuse that he had to go to a concert in Vegas or something. So Nikki and Mariah was left with Randy in the middle. Poor Randy. Now he's in the middle of the crazy sandwich. And unfortunately, I think it was Nikki's hormones were raging. Maybe she was having too much macaroon or something, but she was horny. And it touched off a whole montage of her begging guys to take their clothes off and, girl, get it, boo. You know, it was just like, oh, I can't take this anymore. So Griffin was up next, and he was cute. The girls said yes, and Randy said no. Reminds me of the old days when horn dogs Randy and Simon would be like, ooh, yeah, the girl in the bikini can go through, and you know, Paula and whoever else was there were like, no. So it was also kind of weird while they were waiting outside that his mom asked permission of her husband to kiss Ryan Seacrest, and he said yes, and Ryan said yes, and it was just really weird. Anyway, it was a yes for Griffin. So Curtis was not the last one of day one, but second to last one, and he was a tutor. I really didn't get why they put him through. I didn't really think he was that great, but maybe it was just because his friend wanted to meet Mimi, aka Mariah. It was a yes for him, whatever. Then final slot on day one is usually the one that's like really emotional. So it was another Mariah, and yes, this one was emotional. She had anorexia. She's battling it. Guess what, honey? Anorexia, you're going to be battling that for the rest of your life. So I'm a little upset because it was okay. But I really think they just said it was a yes because they couldn't say no. Her whole family was there. It was so emotional. Everybody came out afterwards and everyone was crying. It was just one of those things where, yeah, you told her yes now, but I don't know how this is all going to turn out after Hollywood week. That's the problem that I have with these shows, is they send a lot of people through that they know are not going to make it through, and it's very upsetting because a lot of these people get sent home on the first day in Hollywood after they've like rearranged their lives and everything for possibly being out there. So that really is upsetting to me. Anyhow, let's get to day two, kittens. Day two, first girl, Brandy. She's 17 years old and she was adopted by her aunt. She's a little bit of a country singer, and I thought she was really good. So it was a yes for her. Then Josh, didn't really know too much about him. He's got a sexy tone to his voice. So that was a yes. And that kicked off two more yeses, which we really didn't get any backstory on. They just stuck him in there. But then Clifton was up next. His parents never heard him sing. And he's in his 20s. He was okay. I think he was just another one of those ones where they really wanted to play up the backstory, and he really, I don't know. I don't see him making the top 10. But it was a surprise that his parents were there listening to him sing for the first time. And they were standing off to the side, and it's like, come on, you didn't see them there? Really? Well, it was a yes for him. So everybody loves Mariah because she's been around for 1,000 years singing. What was she, like a singing fetus or something? Probably. So I think that pisses off Nicki Minaj a lot because, like, Mariah is an icon and Nicki's new to the scene. You know, she's tough kid on the block, tough broad, and Mariah's like old diva. So I think that, you know, Nikki has to be in the spotlight, and that really pisses her off. But Aisha was up next, and she's a professional dancer. She was okay dancing. Singing, no. She tried to sing a song called Thank You, and it was more of like a no thank you. And Mariah got so flustered that, and she blamed it on Nikki, that she said yes when she really meant no. How would anyone ever say yes? It was definitely a no. All right, how many people remember Johnny Keister? I do. He returned, he got into another audition, he made it through. There was like this cat fight going on. It was extremely weird. I don't know. Sometimes I think the whole Nicki Mariah thing is just so manufactured. It just seems really tedious. All right. Kezban was up next. I think that's how you say her name. She came out and she's a fire twirler person. Fire something. Performer. She had an interesting look. Interesting voice. I thought her voice was actually really good. She came out and sang a Disney song, Pinocchio, which was okay. Then she sang an original song with her guitar. I'm really surprised they're allowing instruments in for the auditions, but it was special. She's a good singer-songwriter. And then she made it through, but then there was this whole banter between her and Ryan about how she's going to have to be filling out paperwork for the next 3 hours. It's just a little weird. But congratulations, Kezban. All right, so then Ashley, another deluded child. Musical theater major at some college. This college is going to have like no credibility after this, because she got up there all confident and everything, and her song was all kinds of wrong. I don't know how she made it into college for music, because she's not a singer. And she kept singing like she was going to change the judges' minds. And the poor mother. Mothers, don't tell your kids they can sing if they can't sing. It's only going to be more embarrassing for them in the end. Buckle down. You're not crushing their dreams. You're helping point them in the direction that they should be going in. If your kids can't sing, don't tell them that they can sing. Help them find something that they can do. Because if you can't sing now, it's not going to change. It's not like, oh, I want to pursue my dream. It'll never get better. Trust me, it will never get better. Sorry, I work at a voice studio. I know these things. All right, so that was a no for her. And then the last one of the day, a very inspirational story, Lazaro. He's a stutterer. That is such a crippling, frustrating condition to have. His story was so touching and so beautiful, and he is such a cutie. It was a no-brainer. He made it through. His voice was actually really, really good. I mean, he needs just a tiny bit of work, but he's going to be something amazing. So him and 46 other people made it through in Chicago, so congratulations to them. Next week, they're going someplace with cars. My DVR cut it off. I have no idea where it is, whether it's like Florida or Indianapolis. I have no idea. If you know where it is, please leave it in the comments. I would appreciate it. And that is all until next week. So until then, much love.